Hello class. So today we're going to be looking at how to solve two kinds of questions. First, find the length of the missing side. So the first thing you need to do here is to locate the sides that you want to be comparing. So the x, the similar side to it and the other side is 3. And then you can pick any of, in this case we have 3 other sides that we can pick from. Sometimes, usually you only have one side. If in a triangle, for example, they give you two lengths. One has an x and the other one is the known. But in this case, you can pick, and I will pick the 56. I would circle it, and the 56 is similar to this 14 right here. Be careful. You have to use the side that it is that is similar to it. In this case, since the shapes are oriented in this way, if you're starting, let's say you're starting at this point here, you can go counterclockwise or against the way the clock moves, or just moving to the left. And in this case, we land on the 56 and the 14 on the smaller side. So once you do that, you want to write the proportion. So I would say, I always like to write right and left just because they're right and left. Sometimes they're up and down. Whichever way you want to call it, you can call them X and Y. It doesn't really matter. But I try to use right and left just because X is usually is used for the missing side. So I would say right to left. And that would be the X to 3. So x over 3 equals 56 over 14. Okay, and then you cross multiply to solve for x, whichever way you like to use it. I like to just cross multiply. That's the easiest way I find. So that means you multiply the 56 and the 3, and you multiply the 14 and the x. When you do that, you end up with 14x. Use a calculator and do it using mental math. In mental math, I get 168. I check on the calculator, and I also get 168. Then you're going to divide by 14 both sides to get rid of that 14x, and you end up with just x on the left side. And on the right side, again on the calculator, 168 divided by 14 equals 12. So that x equals 12. Okay, so let's look at the other side here. We also have a quadrilateral here where we have to pick. So actually, I'm just going to show you another example where you are given the most common example here, which is triangles. So we have the x. This x is similar to the 20, and the 3 is similar to the 12. So this is the right and the left. So we're going to do left to right since we did right to left before. Left to right, so that means 12. You can do it, doesn't matter really. 20 over x is similar to 12 over 3. You cross multiply again, so that's 12x equals 20 times 3, or 60. You divide by 12, you end up with x equals 5. That's our answer. Okay, so that's how you find the missing side. We have other kinds of question that we're going to be looking at, which is which two shapes are similar. There are a few factors here. Similar shapes have the same length and the same length proportion and the same angles. So let's look at the first example here. The angles are all 90 because those are two rectangles. Okay, so we know the angles condition is satisfied. So the next thing we need to do is we look at the length and the width. So these are obviously the widths and these are the lengths. based on the numbers given to them. The length is always the longer side. So you can say you can do width over length for the left side versus the right side. So do left and right, and they have to be exactly the same. If they're not, then you do not have similar shapes. So let's do 9. Oh, sorry, length divided by width. So we'll do 6 divided by 9. That should equal to 8 divided by 12. Okay. If you don't want to do length and width, you can do again circle and squares or rectangles. 6 divided by 9 is 0.6 repeating, and 8 divided by 12 again using calculator is 0.6 repeating. They're the same, which means similar shapes. Again, the reason is angles are the same, and also the proportion of the sides is the same. Let's look at the next example here. Here we have those two angles seem similar. These ones are similar, but those are not. In here we have the two obtuse angles are the same and the two acute angles are the same, but these shapes are not the same. So here 2 and 2, 4 and 4. Here you have 3. We do not know this one here. We know this one is 6. This one here is less than 3. Oh, less than 3, sorry. Oops. Less than 3. Okay, so this one here is not going to be similar. Not similar, regardless if the sides are the same. Or if they have similar proportions. So just by looking at the angles, they're not similar. This one here is the same. So yes, both of these are isosceles triangle, but this one here, the angle looks like it's a 90, and here it's clearly an acute angle, a small acute angle, some probably roughly around 20 or so, or 15. So this one is not similar also, based on angles. I'll give you more information about angles. I'll give you, like, this is a 90 and the next one is a 20 or so. I don't like to just eye it in exams or assessments. So let's look at a couple more examples. I'll look at this one here. Those are similar. If you're trying this example right here, those are similar based on the numbers. This one here, let's look at this. So these two sides are similar, and those two are also similar, assuming those are, since we don't have information about these two. But let's look at assume the angles are the same. Well, actually we can't assume that, but if we don't have enough information about the angles. But based on the numbers that we have. So 10 over, so we can do 10 over 12, that should be the same as 15 over 20. 10 over 12 is 5 over 6. And 15 over 20 is 3 over 4. That's the simplest and simplest fraction. So these are not equal. You say not similar. Angles are too close to call. Okay, if the angles are too close to call. For this shape right here, we know that these angles are the same, and these angles are the same, assuming these are parallel sides. Again, this is more information I'll be giving you. So what you need to do is you need to compare this side with this side, and this one here with this one here. Okay, and if you do so, you do 4/5, that should be the same as 20/16. 4/5 is 0.8, and 20/16 is 1.25. Again, use a calculator. Those are not equal to each other, so we would say those are not similar.